Where you depend? Where
Ah,
you depend? Okay.
Medea, take it easy. It's winter, like in Ghana for me. I'm
It's
like
freezing.
freezing up here. If you see me quivering, it's because I'm McCall, McCall,
You
McCall,
call that.
McCall.
A lot of people say, "Oh, Ghana, Jamaica has some certain things that is a vibe in there." A lot of. Can you educate us? Maybe some of us we don't know the things that we need to know about Jamaica and Ghana, and how best we can, understand ourselves and bridge that gap together.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to talk about Queen Nanny of the Maroons. She was taken away from the Ashanti region here in Ghana. Her and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she had three brothers.
Okay.
So the four of them were taken away from Ghana, brought on a ship to Jamaica. And when she arrived to Jamaica, she created an uprising
Okay.
where she fought the colonizers and then she escaped into the mountains. And that's what we call the Maroon Town. So the Maroons are the people who, the indigenous people who got together with the Africans who were brought into the island, and they came together and they created an uprising and they were able to escape,
Oh, okay.
right, from going in the mountains. She is the mother, the queen mother that really connects us.
Okay.
Her and her three brothers. But we say the queen mother because can her brothers bear children like in their wombs? No, right?
Yeah.
She's the mother. So that is our link. That is our direct link. We were told that she came with the ackee seed in her jaw.
Oh,
So ackee is all over Avery and in certain
yeah.
parts of Ghana, and then in Jamaica we eat ackee, and everybody's like, well, how did ackee get to Jamaica from Ghana? Well, they brought this seed with them, and so because of that, they didn't just bring the ackee seed and the freedom fighter spirit, but they brought a lot of traditions, honoring the ancestors, the abeng, calling out with that the abeng. Woo!
Yeah.
We do that in the Maroon Town in Jamaica.
Wow.
That is a tradition that we adapted from right here in Ghana. Rice and peas, wachi, right? Everything, all of the food, the yam, the cocoa leaf. I just found out this week, I can't believe this, y'all. Don't come for me. But I just found out this week that contumbre,
Yeah, contemporary.
it's the cocoa leaf.
Yeah, it's cocoa leaf.
We eat that in Jamaica. I didn't know.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that it was contumbre. I didn't know it was cocoa leaf either.
Wow.
We eat that.
We eat it with we can make it with stew and soup.
That's how we eat it. We eat it in the stew and the soup and everything.
Yeah.
And we eat cocoa and we eat yam and we eat cassava and we eat everything that's right here. And we love mango. Everything, jackfruit, everything that is here, we have it on the island.
How does that feel for you to get to know this kind of things are in Ghana and actually over there too as well?
I get goosebumps. I get very emotional. I see for everyone that I see here, there's someone that I know in Jamaica that looks like the person right here.
Wow.
Even you look Jamaican. Not because of your hair, but I'm looking
Okay.
at your features. And so is it that you look Jamaican, or is it that we're Africans that were taken away from our land?
Of course, that is it.
I met a young lady from the Ashanti region. Her name is Ya. And how I met her is she was working in a shop close to my home, and I walked in, and everybody's staring at the both of us, and we're staring at each other. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and we both are like, you look like me.
Wow.
And I have yet, even when I was in America, I didn't meet a lot of people who look like me. But this young lady, when I mean she looks like me, she showed me a picture of her father. He looks exactly like my father. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know what we have to do. We're actually very close friends now.
Okay.
And she's my little sister, and I love her so much.
Oh,
But she looks more like me than my own children.
wow.
Okay? And so things like that, it's very emotional. I'm always saying Ochana and good, I'm always like using whatever I know, because that's my way of showing respect. And also showing that I want to learn. I speak a second language. I speak Spanish as well.
Oh, okay.
So for me, language and linguistics are very important. I'm here in the spirit of love. And then there are times when it's very loving. People like yourself, other shows that I've been on, Other, Ghanaians, I have extended Ghanaian family, to be honest with you. Ben and Ama, if you're watching this, that's my brother and my sister, and I love them. And, and they treat me like you would never know that I was a stranger. In America, when I woke up, I had a neighbor who never spoke with me. I lived there for 10 years.
Wow.
Never exchanged a word. You see where I live in Tema? Hey, if I wake up, if my neighbor doesn't see me for 3 days, hey,
Come and knock.
what, auntie? That's saying,
Wow.
where have you been? I when I was driving to come here today, the man who has his ECG, he sells electrical goods in my neighborhood. Daddy, he was walking to his shop, and he says, "Hey, Ajua, where have you been?
Oh.
I haven't seen you. Come and sit with me and chat."
How does that feel?
I get emotional. I love it. I love it. You know what else I love? When somebody sees me, I have my locks, my hair is wrapped, and I'm driving, and I look in the mirror and they're doing this.
Wow. How?
Right? Yes. Those experiences, you don't have that in America. You do not have that in America. Now in Jamaica, yes. Because we in Jamaica, we feel high. I grew up in the Jamaican culture, constantly through our music and our environment, constantly praising Africa, constantly in the Rastafari tradition and in our environment. I mean, you have some Jamaicans who don't believe that they're African, and they don't, and we have the skin bleaching issue. But for the most part, when you listen to the roots and the culture music, Burning Spear, Garnet Silk, Dennis Brown, Bob Marley, Joseph Hill culture, who he was made a chief here in Ghana. When we listen to those freedom fighters through their music, growing up for me, and my father was a Rastafarian as well,
Oh, okay.
Pan-African. So growing up in the culture and the tradition, we were praising Africa. This was like a dream come true, So repatriation and coming home and Pan-Africanism, that's in my blood. I mean, that's not foreign to me. I've always understood that the vision is to come to Africa. And we always knew that Ghana was the gateway to the motherland because of Kwame Nkrumah. He's the forerunner. He is a great forerunner.
He's the great, 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 great.
Yeah, forerunner. He paved the way for us to say we're going to return and come home to the Black Star.
What does Pan African means to you? And a lot of people feel like Pan African is something like, oh, it's just a movement of just black guy, they don't care and all that. What is your message to all those kind of people?
Okay, so Pan Africanism, from how I was raised, because like I said, my father, my uncle, my father Aya, my uncle John, they were Pan Africanists, and they believed in one Africa, and that if we united collectively as melanated people, so we don't say Puerto Rico, we don't say Cuba, we don't say Brazil, we don't say Ghana, we don't say Senegal, we don't say Belize, we don't say, everywhere where melanated people occupy the earth, that we see ourselves as a one united people, because they created these race generated names like black, white, Spanish. They created that to separate us, but we are actually the greatest inhabitants on this earth. So if Pan-Africanism says if we united, we can build ourselves economically, spiritually,
Okay.
as a community,
Okay.
as families, we would come together and be on a united front. So what does that look like? So I'm going to materialize it, right? So we have a stronger
Yeah, I
understanding.
understand that.
I'm here in Ghana. I've been coming to Ghana since 2017, before there was ever a Melcom or a Palace Mall, okay?
Or Chinese mom.
Or a Chinese mall. Hey, I am here now. I see a Melcom. Who owns the Melcom? The Indians, okay? I researched. I did my research. You think that one Indian man opened Melcom?
I don't think so.
He couldn't. There had to be a collective of them, right? If we were operating with true Pan-Africanism, we would have more of a united front economically, where we could create industries and create opportunities for financial sustainability. We should be sustainable, self-sustainable. That means we have our farms, we farm together, we eat together, we have our businesses, we have our industries, we're training each other. I salute Miss Naomi and the Marcus Messiah Garvey Foundation here in Ghana.
Yeah.
What is she doing? She's training the youth to learn skills so that what? They can go back out and be able to take care of themselves. That is true Pan-Africanism.
Saying that, do you think we need charity or we need skills?
We need skills, which we don't, that word need means that we lack it. We have skills. We need to activate our power. Okay, we need to activate, and that's why all of our great leaders who were trying to unite us, whether it was through the dollars, Gaddafi, I'm not going to go too deep into that, or it was through politics, Kwame Nkrumah, Stokely Carmichael, right? Patrice Lumumba, right? What do? They try to out them because can you imagine if we got united, what would happen?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the way this world would be if we weren't behind the scenes trying to clip each other's wings? The minute we see somebody striving, we think that they have something we don't have. We either want to take it or stop them from thriving. What is that?
Leave a comment over there. Let's interact over there. Let's get to know the more, meaning and ways that we can. There are some certain things we can't say it out loud, but when you write it there, we can be able to find a way to, navigate it and write it back and forth so that we can understand ourselves. It's bridging the gap, and we are still on that move to bridge the gap together.